All right, folks, welcome back. Rob, we are back, and we are back better than ever. How we doing, big fella?
Good, man. Had a great weekend.
We did have a great weekend. That's why we are back, and we are back better than
Oh,
ever.
we're back.
We had
Oh, yeah.
ourselves a hell of a weekend. You and I were together all weekend at Rosemont for the golf show that has been
Yeah.
gone away for what, 2 years? So it was nice to be back, and it was a hell of a turnout, man.
Dude, it was Friday, was crazy. Saturday and Sunday were too, but like it was crazy to see the line to get in on Friday. But everybody's been not deprived of it, but haven't been able to go to it for the last 2 years. So it's everybody trying to get back, getting their deals on their clubs, seeing what's going on. So it was awesome.
Yeah, Friday, surprisingly. So normally, obviously, the bigger crowd is always Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Friday and Sunday kind of being like the lingering days, but also the smart days. Like the guys who have been going for a long time know to go either Friday or Sunday because it's not packed. So,
Right.
But even the amount of traffic on both Friday and Sunday was like super surprising. The joke was we saw more traffic on Friday in 1 hour than we did all weekend at the Tinley Park.
Right. Yeah.
Last year. So it was awesome. I mean, both of us were pretty much just pounding waters by like midway through Saturday because our voices were starting to go. I don't think I was telling my wife, I'm like, you know me, I don't really talk a whole lot. I think this is the most I've talked in a long, long time.
Yeah, I would have to second that. I'm not a big words guy.
Right.
So it was cool though. I mean, seeing all these people not knowing anything about us, and then, once we tell them what we are, they're like, oh, man, that's a great idea, or that would be fun, or yeah, we are golf junkies and we want to be part of a golf community. The interest was awesome. I mean, from all ages too, which was really cool. And a lot of women this year. I felt like more than Tinley, but Tinley was, not as big as this, but no, just like in general, like even young kids. I mean, just how cool they thought it was, and maybe potentially down the line, they can join stuff like that. But it's very interesting for sure. It was cool to see everybody's reaction about it.
Definitely. I was just going to say it's pretty easy to do. I'm not complaining that we had to talk a lot, but it's pretty easy to do when you're pretty passionate about, what you're talking about. So it was easy for us to do. It was just a lot of talking. But to your
point, a lot of people testing out the prime putt too, which was kind of cool to see. So
yeah, it's just so easy to talk. Obviously, we like to talk CGT. But to your point, like people who've come up and have never heard of us before, and once it sets in and then it clicks, like the reaction on their face, usually it's their eyebrows raised and they're like, wow, this is super cool. Like, man, how long have you guys been around? That was usually like the follow-up is, man, how long have you been around? How come I've never heard of you? So it's super cool to see. And then once they start to think about it, and then they start to dive into like, other questions, and, we get to tell them a little bit about you and I and how it started, and, how many people we had last year and so forth and so on. Like, it's contagious. It really is, especially when they walk away. It's like, all right, definitely I'll reach out, or, we'll sign up, or so forth and so on. So, it was a great time. I mean, the show itself is just an absolute zoo. It's crazy. I mean, at Maple Hill Golf out of Michigan, I mean, they basically have like a small, not even small, like a pretty large store set up in there.
Yeah. They had the whole back half.
Yeah, somebody was tweeting it the other day. I think they had like over 5,000 or 10,000 clubs like alone just in Maple Hill. I mean, it's crazy how much gear they had. I'm sure they do a really good during the golf show, but even walking around, like there's just so many unique booths and like things you've never seen before. Like that one dude who had like the guitar head covers, and there's just a lot of cool stuff there. I mean, X Golf had an entire simulator there. So it was legit. It was awesome. It was good to be back. And then obviously you had Colton Oast, Paige Sporanic. They were both there Saturday, Sunday. The place was just buzzing. And then of course the CDGA long putt. So, just intermittent like roars every probably 30 minutes of somebody either just missing a putt or somebody making it. So it was awesome. It was just a really cool atmosphere. We had a great time. So we're pumped, man. We're hoping it's definitely going to help, build our North and West Side tours, and we can't wait to be back next year.
Right.
So, we're looking forward to this week, Rob. Obviously, tomorrow is a big day for us. It is March 1st, and registration opens for the 2023 season. So,
yes, it does.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Doesn't it feel like we just had the West or North Side Tour Championship and the season was over?
For sure, this feels like it snuck up on us, or at least for me, for some reason. It's just like, I mean, maybe I was expecting more snow, more crappy weather to prolong this out. But like with all the nice weather and everything, especially today, it's just like, yeah, golf season's right here. It's about time.
Right. I mean, there's been psychopaths playing golf for the last 2 weeks with this weather that we've had. So, hopefully it continues. Hopefully we're done with the snow. Although I said that the other night and I came out, in the morning, I'm like, dude, what is this?
Right.
Yeah, I'm hoping, within the next month, Rob, to get our first official round in, which is crazy. Of the season. Although the season doesn't open, I think, until April 1st, and I'm talking about, via the USGA, CDGA handicap, but the actual golf season. But yeah, man, it's here. It's crazy to think about. It flew by, but I know we were busy all weekend. But did you catch the end of the Honda Classic?
Yeah, so when we finished up, got back home, and threw it on. I saw when they were on 17, and I got to catch 18. And when he took out his wood, and what did he say? He had 3 wood or whatever he used to go for it. I was like, there's no way he's going for it, Kirk. And I was like, holy shit! I'm like, he went for it.
Yep.
And then just like to see his face and how he held the club, I was like, I felt terrible for him at that point, obviously, because I thought Cole was gonna birdie, right. So it was crazy, but yeah, it was a good finish. I mean, it's sad to see Honda go, but it was a good way to end the tournament.
Yeah, I mean the Honda used to be stacked, man. I don't know what happened to it. But to your point, I caught it on 15. As soon as I got to work, I threw it on. Great finish. I mean, the last couple holes were insane, and like you said, on 17, I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for people pulling out, going for it, even when they're up, like. When Max did it, but to kind of be or miss, be the water is a different story,
right? Exactly.
Open the door wide open for Cole, and then goes to the playoff, and then that lip out by Cole, man. Can you imagine just like everything he worked for? Don't get me wrong, like, he's still getting paid, with the second finish, but it would have been super cool to see, a first time winner. But yeah, I mean, it was a great finish. Field is what it is, because it was not an elevated event. Yeah, the field was kind of weak, but still, I mean, I think I saw the other day 1.6, I think, viewership compared to LIV's like 268,000. So
terrible.
Yeah, nonetheless, great finish. We got the API coming up this week, Rob.
Yeah, elevated event.
Yeah.
Or designated event, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Speaking of LIV, they just had their first tournament.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you didn't catch any of that.
So it's funny. I was talking about this last night with a coworker, and I said, I didn't watch a minute of it. I didn't watch anything of it. The only thing I caught was maybe a couple highlights on Twitter. And compared to last year when it started, I'm like, it all had to do with YouTube. If it was on YouTube still, I'd probably put it on. But I'm not going to put the CW on my TV, and not that saying I don't like the CW, but I just never put it on, and I don't have the CW app. So it was just like, I felt it was more of a nuisance to try to go that route instead of just going on your YouTube app and watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't watch any of it. Like I said, just saw the highlights. It was kind of, and I lost interest, nothing against, Charles Harrell, but like he doesn't really, excite me to watch him play. It's almost like I was disappointed DJ was down at the bottom and Brooks, was down there. So I really just didn't have any like urge to go out of my way to watch it.
Same. Is YouTube not streaming it anymore?
No. Mm.
Gotcha.
So from what I understand, they have a LIV app now, LIV Plus app that, and then obviously the CW app. And then the other thing too is like I was listening to Shotgun Start, and they're talking like how the CW within the contract or something, the different networks areas have the right to either play it or not play it. So like I think San Francisco, or maybe I'm misquoting the places, but there's quite a few markets that chose to air like their cooking shows because they get better ratings, amount of viewers than they would for LIV. So that's kind of crazy too. So, and like reading the article, did you see the article today about how they're going to change the travel expenses and all that stuff?
No.
Yeah. So basically I just skimmed over it quickly, but like, last year they upfronted all the money. They paid for all their travel and expenses, right? They're changing that this year because they want to be, obviously they're trying to look out for money and be more substantial with everything. So I think now they get like a pool of money, but like it's almost like an allowance. So it's for travel. It's the captains like decide what it goes towards. And I think like Brooks, for example, an article, this is your allowance. You get it right now for travel for the season. You use it up all right now. You could use it for whatever you want. But if you use it all, then the rest of the travel, that's on your dime type deal thing.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Interesting. That's crazy that certain markets, especially certain big golf markets, are able to kind of decline, viewing it or allowing.
Well, I mean, viewers. I think you think about like the CW, everybody's making fun of it, but it's true. It's like, the people that are watching the judge shows or whatever, not, that's what that network tailors to. It doesn't have sports. So their numbers are dependent on, the people that like to watch cooking shows or talk shows or whatnot. So.
Yeah, actually, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, Rob. But ever since we got rid of cable and went to just Roku, started streaming,
cutting the cord. Yeah,
you want to know what I missed the most?
Judge Judy.
No, Triple D on Food Network.
Never watched it.
You never used to watch Triple D? My guy Guy Fieri.
No, Guy never. Fieri. I can't stand him.
Triple D is one of. I'll say this right now. Triple D is one of the best TV shows ever.
What? No.
Ever.
If
you're an OG and you started watching Triple D like when it first came out.
You're talking like all genre. You're talking it's better than
it's in the top 20 shows of all time. That's the hottest take I'll ever have.
For you. Okay. Well, you're saying top 20. That's fine. If you're going top 3, that's a little crazy.
Oh, no. Top 3.
I would take Man versus Food over your Triple D.
Top 3 is bananas. Man versus Food. I mean, obviously, there's a reason that show didn't survive, Rob.
Well,
Triple D's on like the 15th season, probably even more. But anyhow, I digress.
Yes.
LIV's bananas. It's crazy that their numbers were so brutal in the first event. I was reading a tweet. I don't know who sent it. Maybe Jared or Kyle Porter. I don't know. But basically they said like typically viewership goes down after your first event. So if they only had like 286K viewers, that's only going to plummet. So, it's going to be interesting to see, what kind of viewership they get the rest of the year. The thing is, like, I was so open to LIV like prior to the season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, I think I've yet to watch like one full round.
Yeah. I mean, then the other thing too, I was like reading about like, the complaints is now there's commercials, stuff like that. So you're going back to, the bigger issue that it was like last year until CBS like upped their game a little bit. Right. So you're talking about TV coverage and all that stuff. So that was like the big aspect about YouTube, right? That was cool last year. You turn it on, have it in the background. It was shot after shot after shot, so.
Well, to your point, like we were even talking on Saturday, like it just boggles my mind. Even the PGA Tour, like all the hoops you have to jump through, I still do it to watch it. Mm-hmm. And I still think it's bullshit that the PGA Tour app or just the PGA Tour network, not even the Golf Channel, but yeah. So basically the PGA Tour app. If you have the PGA Tour app, it shouldn't matter whether it's on NBC, ESPN, whatever. It should all be tied together. Like, you're paying for the PGA Tour app, right? However, the PGA
I don't pay
Tour,
for that. I mean, I just pay for PGA Tour. Well, I don't now because of ESPN Plus.
Well, I'm saying, like, this goes back years, right? That was the way to watch it.
Originally. PGA Tour Live.
Yeah, or PGA Tour Live. Yeah, the PGA Tour Live app. So, like, however they need to do it to tie it into, like, ESPN and NBC Sports, like, that should be on the back end. I feel like we were talking about Saturday, like, it stinks jumping back and forth from Golf Channel, NBC Sports, PGA Tour app, like NBC. Obviously. Yeah, it's just brutal. But even with all of their hurdles and hoops, like, because the product is so good, I find myself jumping through them to watch it. Right. Now, even if LIV had like an easier way to watch, like YouTube, that was pretty easy. I still didn't watch it. So I don't know. And to your point, like, Charles Hall III, like, just doesn't move the needle for me. Especially when, you got a guy, in a playoff. So, yeah, sad to see. I think I saw DJ and Cam Smith like 6-pack, but is what it is.
See what kind of form they're in for the Masters. That's for sure.
What's that?
See what kind of form they're in for the Masters. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is true. Speaking of this week, Rob, we mentioned we got the API, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Who do you like this week in that field, Rob?
I'm looking at T's picks right now. I do like a couple of his. I really didn't have a favorite. I don't want to spoil it, so I'll let you tell him. But I really like one of them.
I think I know who your pick is.
Okay, all right.
Is it Fowler?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew it. I felt it. He is a huge API guy, and I think, not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty sure I said Ricky Fowler is kind of go down as like an Arnold Palmer type image when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
I think he wants kind of follow in those footsteps, be around the game, so forth. So, anyways, book it with T picks. Long shot Fowler 75-1, Matsuyama 60-1, Burns 50-1. Fitz 35-1, and his favorite Xander Schauffele 25-1, and you could book it with T.
Yeah, I really like the Fowler pick, man.
Yeah, he's going to be wearing something super flary. Obviously with the Arnold Palmer and the colors and the logos, I'm assuming Fowler is going to have something extremely bright on. But the API is always a great tournament. Obviously paying homage to the late great Arnold Palmer. Are you a big Arnold Palmer drinker? Back in your
Oh yeah. I still find myself in the gas station looking at the 99-cent can and being like, man, I should probably get that. That's pretty good.
So to your point, the spiked cans, I don't think they're that great.
The spiked cans.
Yeah, are you talking about the NA, just original iced teas?
Yeah, I'm talking about the original Arizona iced tea can. That's Arnold Palmer, like the 99-cent tall boy. Like, lived on those things.
Those are dope. Those are dope.
I've never had, like, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever had an Arnold Palmer with booze, like a spiked one.
Oh, okay.
Ever.
So the ones at the course are obviously the best.
Yeah, right.
They have a spiked one, obviously with alcohol that's like already in the can.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Is it?
Yeah, it's way too sugary. But what I was getting at is if I'm not getting like a transfusion or a vodka water, my next choice is Arnold Palmer. You don't ever want it too dark where it's too tea, but you don't want it too lemony. You got to have a good mixture. But
man, we're at Eastern. We used to get the big jugs of it from Walmart. It was great.
Oh boy, you used to pour it in like a Gatorade cooler.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. The floor would be all sticky in the morning when you come down.
We were talking about that, not to get off subject either, but we were talking about that the other night. Like, just to think about all the stuff you did when you're in college and how, like, I am a complete germaphobe now.
Oh yeah.
Just to think about some of that stuff, like when you play beer pong, sharing the same cup, the beer in the cup, the fucking ping pong ball, drop it on the floor with 75 people in your apartment with their dirty shoes. That grosses me out now.
Super gross. I mean, do you think they're still doing it that way? Or do you think they're like pausing and putting on hand sanitizer and like wiping the cups? Or do you think it's just straight?
No, trash? So I mean, when my career was over for beer pong, it seemed like they were to the point where they just put water in the cup, right? And then you had your drink on the side and you had to take a drink of it.
They got smart.
Yeah, they got smart. They got a lot smarter than we did.
Right. Again, registration, big day tomorrow, Rob. Registration opens. So by the time you guys hear this, the link will be already sent via email. We're going to be sending out an email, but the website will be good to go for you guys to jump on board and register for the 2023 season. So you got a lot coming, a lot of good stuff. But we're going to jump right into the top 3, Rob. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready for that.
All right, Rob. So at the golf show, speaking of shows, at the golf show, there was, as you know, a stand right behind us, and it was Robinson's, and they were cooking kielbasa and ribs, and
sure,
I mean, basically, it was within 20 feet of our booth, and it was for 3 days straight. They were just nonstop, So it had me thinking. I want to know your top 3 barbecue foods, and they could be sides or entrees or whatever.
Gotcha. Honorable mention would be the McRib play on. I don't know if you ever knew about this, but De La Salle.
Did you just throw a McRib in there?
Honorable mention, but I'm playing it. Hold on, I have to explain. De La Salle had the D rib.
Okay.
So the D rib sandwich is an honorable mention. Love that thing. That was great.
I mean, if you were about to throw the McRib from Mickey D's in your top 3, we would have been canceled.
Number 3 slot would be the brisket from Q's. Love the brisket sandwich. It's great.
Q's is awesome.
They have their Memphis sweet sauce, I think it is. I like a lot. 2, I would have to say from last night would be the pulled pork from Bub City with their sauce. That was great. And number 1, I do really like, I think we talked about this over the weekend. I love the patio ribs. They're full slab of ribs. Something about it the last couple times has been great.
Oh, yeah. Patio's good. That's a good list, Rob. My 3-hole. I'm going to go with burn ends. Give me some burn ends. I'm a big junkie for burn ends. Yeah. Number 2, I'm going to throw a side in there for you, Rob, and it might surprise you. Give me some good old homemade cornbread. Big cornbread guy.
Katie loves cornbread.
Love. Give me it with chili. Give me it with barbecue. Give me it with anything. Specifically with barbecue, it's phenomenal. And then number 1, I'll have to go ribs, and my spot is the Pit in Hickory Hills over there off of Roberts Road. The Pit does it right, man. Just so good. Baby backs. Barbecue in general is great. Are you a smoker or a griller or anything like that in the summer?
No, I really don't. I don't want to mess with like the ribs, smoking and grilling, to be honest with you. I don't want to mess that up.
No.
So I don't touch that. Like just strictly steaks and burgers and chicken on the grill for me.
Yeah.
A little barbecue. I do, I take it back. I mean, I'll grill some chicken with some barbecue sauce on there, but I don't mess with the ribs, man.
No.
They're just too good. I don't want to mess that up.
I hear that. You'll have to come by one weekend and we'll have to smoke a brisket or do some ribs here.
I do get jealous of the people that like I see out like on Instagram stories that they start smoking the brisket at like 7 a.m. and they got it going all day. That's great.
Yeah. So usually the play was I would smoke it the night before, and then I mean this thing would smoke for 14 to 16 hours, and then wrap it, put it in a cooler, and then drive up to South Haven to my mom's. So that's like an hour and 45, but you're supposed to let it rest. So it was like perfect. And literally pull it off the smoker, wrap it, put it in a cooler. By the time you got up there, it was like butter.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. We'll have to. I try not to use my stove as least as possible in the summer. It's all
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
We go through a ton of propane, a ton of wood pellets. Just like being outside, smoking and grilling. So that wraps it up,
Man,
Rob.
heavy food episode.
Right. I mean, this might turn into a food podcast, Rob. But until next time, make sure to check your email. Make sure to register tomorrow. Big season coming up here, Rob.
Yeah, big season. Excited.
Until next time, we'll see you in the fairway.
See you in the fairway, Tom.
See you, buddy.